Okay, gave the dog a bath. He's clean. Went to the market because we have a nice day today for bike riding. But on to other things. This mess you see here, this is me in the middle of the creative process. Now I found this in my stash. It's a old all brass base, and I soldered a solid piece of brass to that, and you can see that little bearings in there. I've ordered a brass ball that's just over 3 inches in diameter, and I have these things laying around, and some scrap brass here. I have a lot of scrap brass. I've got this little motor here. It turns about 6 RPM, so that could come into play. I also have this miniature drone motor, and these are the blades for it, which I'm doing a fake brass paint job on. And I really don't know where this is going yet. I know I got some interesting parts to use, and it could be anything. Right now I'm still kind of playing with ideas, but during the process my bench gets pretty messy, I have to say. And parts for the drone motor. Well, I got some more parts on order, and we'll see what happens when they get here and what I come up with. Right now I know it's going to be all brass, ball motor, 2 propellers that rotate in opposite directions, and maybe some motion. I don't know yet whether it's going to be an orbiter or oscillator or what's going to be at this point. Well, I'll keep you posted. Okay, this is installment 2 of my creative process, and since the last video the 3-inch brass ball came in, and this is what I'm going to use to make the motor, which goes on top of here. And pretty much decided that I'm going to make this into an orbiter using this little motor mounted in here. And that'll be facing backwards and operating a lever. And so really you just need to proceed to fabricate the necessary parts for that and keep going with it. But in the meantime, I'm still pondering the cage, and I have these little beads here, and I just had the idea I might have to make a cage that is atomic, whatever that means. It looks like an atom model or something. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, this bad boy got here. You see this is a big Verity's 16-inch orbiter, and this guy is, when I first plugged it in, it kept blowing fuses, so I rewired it, new wiring, and it runs now, but however, I think it's too slow. I think this thing should run faster. In any case, I'll be taking it apart. I think that the finish on it is really gross and dirty, but I think it can be saved. I don't see it like rusty anywhere or bare metal or anything. And I've been working on the cage a little bit, and you can see that the cage shines up nicely. So this may not need a restoration. Just take it all apart, clean it really nicely, put it back together again, and run it. So I've got 2 projects now, And it means my days are full of fun and wonder. There's lots of fun things to do. Okay, that's it till the next time. Okay, this is episode 3 of the creative process. And since the last episode, I've managed to make a test bed for the drone motor. Get a new servo controller and batteries, and I managed to get this thing to work, but this guy needs a little push to get going. So what I'm thinking is that the 2S batteries just aren't cutting it. So I've got a 3S battery on order, and I think that'll cure the problem of kick-starting this thing. But even with the 2S batteries, this thing runs crazy fast. So that's coming along. And I've also made progress on the actual structure of the fan. And I made a yoke for it, and I've completed the construction of the motor as far as it connecting the two halves together. There's now no screws. There's 3 of them that hold this motor together, and I've got it so it's very, very smooth in operation, which is important for this little tiny motor, which doesn't have any power. In order to get this thing to orbit properly, everything has to be very smooth. That's coming along nicely, and so I'll be maybe down to the hardware store and buy a couple switches, because I need to be able to turn these things on and off. And aside from that, I think I have everything I need. And so I think it's looking pretty good here. Onward and upward. Okay, we're nearing completion on this guy. I made good progress over the last couple of days, and I've actually solved some problems, a couple of them accidentally. Remember, I was having problems with the second blade not starting on its own. I had to kickstart it, and as a result I broke off one of the blades here. Well, I found the blade. It was just sitting up here, and I thought I'd never see it again. But so I glued it back on just so I can get going, finishing up this thing while I wait for the replacement blades to come. Meanwhile, watch this. Both blades start by themselves now, and for whatever reason, shall remain a mystery. I don't know why, but it works just like it's supposed to now. And even the orbit motor is operating on the 8 volts, whereas before I thought it would require at least 11 or 12 volts. And it did require I put a counterweight on the orbit lever just to help it through when it's trying to lift the front of the fan, which is heavier than the back. So that's the idea there. So here we go. I'll let you know how this thing can run. Yeah, that's a bit nuts. I'm not going to run it like that. But it could actually run very slow. Makes pretty good wind for a little bitty fan. And I'm really liking it. It's I'm going to try the 11 volt 3S battery when it gets here. just because, but apparently right now it's running on the 2S batteries. This one's getting a little bit discharged. So I may just end up using the 2S batteries if it continues to run like this. So a little bit of a hitch there. Well, that's it for now. Really all I've got left to do is try the 3S battery and make a base plate and perhaps rubber feet for it. And it will be done.